if we're talking about people that are technically overweight, I don't think that's negative to portray that body image in the media, because you can be overweight and healthy. And we can get into some statistics about people who are overweight versus people who are obese. But when it starts to cross into the obese, morbidly obese category, that's when I have a problem with promoting that sort of image, especially to young people, and saying that this is okay long term. What's up, guys? It's Zach, your host of the Aux, and you are about to listen to a clip from an episode behind the paywall on Auxoro Premium. If you'd like to support independent creators like myself, you can go to auxoro.supercast.tech for 3 hours of exclusive podcast content per month. We're bringing you episodes on exciting, sometimes twisted topics like the COVID lab leak hypothesis, MK Ultra, the obesity epidemic, Tom Cruise, Tim Dillon. No topic is off limits. Sign up today for $3 per month, too, if you sign up for the year at auxoro.supercast.tech. Again, that's auxoro.supercast.tech. Link is also in the podcast notes. Without further ado, please enjoy this sneak preview clip from the Auxoro Premium Vault.
Well, we're here with Tim Dillon, Zach, and Matt Grossfeld.
All right. Are we live? Yes, we're live. What is up, guys? It's good to have you here today to talk about obesity.
Wish I could say the same, that it's good to be here, but I'm excited to discuss obesity with you guys.
Why are you not excited?
I thought this was an intervention for Dave.
Yeah, no, this is this podcast. For those of you listening, we told Dave that we're gonna have him on the podcast to talk about obesity, but this is actually just an intervention because his weight has gotten so out of control. He's using a filter right now that makes him look less than 200 pounds, but he's actually sitting on the chair 450 pounds right now, and he's 5'5", just so people can understand how morbidly obese he is.
It's getting...
Yeah, he's broken 3 chairs before the podcast started.
Yes.
We had a 30-minute intro, 3 broken chairs.
This podcast would have started 45 minutes earlier if Dave just would be able to fit in a chair. It's like that scene from Shallow Hal where Dave, he doesn't look obese on camera because he's using the filter, and just like the girl in Shallow Hal doesn't look fat to Jack Black, but then when she sits on the steel diner chair, it just completely collapses under her weight. So that's going to happen at least 3 more times during this podcast to David.
Yeah, this is a cry for help, really.
Yes.
So
what do you guys think about obesity? Like, what comes to mind when you hear the word obesity? Because I feel like that would be a good way to start out the podcast, because a lot of people hear the word obesity and they get defensive, or they already have some sort of ideology in place, or maybe to them it just means someone overweight. So what do you think about what comes to mind when you hear obesity, or when you think about the word obesity?
Dave
Grossfeld.
Myself.
I think the weird thing to me is always obesity is actually, I feel like it's less weight than people think, because I don't think you actually have to be very overweight to be considered obese, based at least on those doctor's charts. Like, when I think of obese, I think of those TV shows where it's like follows those people that are like 300-400 pounds, but I don't think I think someone could look pretty normal and still be considered obese. And then especially if someone like works out or something, technically on those doctor chart scales, they might be considered obese because it's just based on weight. But yeah, I don't know I don't remember what the exact percentages to be considered obese.
I remember going into the pediatrician, the doctor we had for checkups my whole childhood, and it was really weird because I would walk, we would get weighed there, and I don't know if it was because of sports or just my body type, and we probably were eating certain amounts that we shouldn't have at certain points in our lives. But he would say at times you're overweight, but uh, as we see with the research that we did, there's different definitions of obesity because um, you don't like you might not look overweight, but he would mention that, and what's important is that, as we'll see, I guess it can accumulate in various areas of your body. Some areas are worse to have fat in your body. Some areas are better, and that's something I actually didn't know before. So,
Yeah,
that might be
most people
yeah,
don't know that the best spot you want to accumulate it in your body is actually the left areola, the left nipple. That's where you want
yeah,
all of the fat to go
yeah,
directly. You want all the fat deposits in your left nipple so that it's
yes,
not causing places in other areas like the heart or internal organs.
the
But
left nut, yeah,
exactly, yeah, left nut and left areola, or actually you want right nut and left areola just to balance it out so you don't tip over with one huge left nut and one huge left nipple.
so
Um,
just two bumps, yeah,
yeah, but I
but
remember when I think about obesity, I remember when I would go to Dr. Swirsky. I mean, we all went to the same
that's who it
doctor
was, yeah,
in Plainview, and
yeah,
he would point to the chart with
right.
the lines, the lines for the normal progression of kids, so around a normal weight. And then he
He'd be like,
would
"You're
point to the
fucking
dot on the chart for me, and it was above it. And he would never directly tell me to lose weight, but he would say things like, "You might want to start thinking about, getting back to where non-fat kids are on the chart." Or he
yeah,
would probably have conversations with mom and dad, but he would just show me on the chart and say, "This is you." And most other kids are down here. And I don't think I was ever uh, morbidly obese. I think I was in the obese category for like 10 to 13, something like that. I was probably like 175 pounds, but a lot shorter. So technically, I was in the obese category. And I remember going home and looking up what was technically obese and like looking at my skinnier friends, and I was never to the point where I was obese as an adult. It was always early teenage years, and I know Matt has more experience with losing a lot of weight as an adult. If you want to talk about that, but for me, I remember looking at my skinnier friends and being like, why don't my nipples go flat? Like I would literally like press my nipples in the shower and be like, how do I get my nipples to be flat like my friends? Why
yeah.
do they poke
I
out?
would, yeah. Gorilla Tape's good for that,
Yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
Exactly.
No, Swirsky. No, like I don't know whether he did body fat percentage as well, but he would just like kind of he would give me the metric and then look at me and just be like, you're getting up there for your age. And I don't know if he ever took an account the muscle we added on from lifting and sports, and we definitely put on weight, and then on top of that you eat a lot when you do those types of activities. So I don't remember. I maybe took it seriously for a few years, and then I realized I don't think I'm too unhealthy right now. I might have just put on weight because of what I'm doing with my life. And so like I never I never got too worried when he said those things. And you probably have to add that measurement to you probably have to take the total weight with BMI and fat percentage. I think you need like all three of those for sure. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
important.
I also remember the other doctor I just wouldn't even listen to because he was
Right.
overweight, and I was
Right.
just like, well, why are you telling me to lose weight when you're like obese as
St-
well? But yeah, I don't think they really care. I don't think as pediatricians they really cared that much about the weight. They were just kind of looking at that chart,
right.
and that was
Yeah.
it. They definitely
That's
weren't doing
Is
anything
it
that's a
hard for
beyond
you
that.
guys to so I was going to say, is it hard for you guys to take advice from someone that perhaps is not healthy themselves, or do you think that it matters?
that's what I was gonna say. I when I was younger, I used to think that doctors would be able to advise everything in the health and medicine realm. But if you're going to a doctor, like when we're talking about teenage childhood experiences, when you're going to a pediatric doctor, that doctor specializes in kids' health, pediatrician, kids' medicine, pediatric studies, and a doctor is extremely skilled and knowledgeable within that base. But there aren't a lot of medical experts that are also well versed in how to become healthy in a holistic sense, where you're combining exercise, movement, diet, like that. That's a very specific knowledge base that, for me, most of my knowledge in that area has come from people who don't have medical degrees, for people who don't have MDs, or some have PhDs, but a lot of it's just people who are super interested in health and fitness, and then read a lot of research papers, put out content on YouTube or in podcasts and say, this is what worked for me, this is what doesn't work for me. People that actually have clients that try to get them to lose weight and put on lean muscle. And so I've realized that I shouldn't be looking to doctors, like general practitioners, for health and fitness advice. You should of course go to the doctor for regular checkups, and if you think anything's wrong with you, yeah, go get checked out, but don't go to the doctor for something that's outside their specialty, like how to build lean muscle. They're just not experts in that.
There are, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there are dietitians and things like that that you could go to that do specialize in things like that. But yeah, your general practitioner might not, depending. I'm sure there are ones that know what they're talking about, but a lot of them probably don't, or don't have the time to deal with it. They're not going to follow you on a health plan. You have to go to someone else.
I was gonna mention that doctors these days are so. I think they do need to be accountable for what you said, but at the same time, with the structure of our system, you see a patient for like 5 to 10 minutes, and yeah, what Matt said and what Zach, what you said, you can't follow the patient to their house, make sure they're working out, and then give them a gym regimen, because that's outside their specialty, and then you can't follow them because they don't have the time. So I think it's weird how health is not more cross-functional. Like, why not throw a team together of, or why not have continued learning for physicians in physical therapy, dietitian classes, athletic training, things like that, so they could actually give you those recommendations. If you if you go to a sports physician, maybe they could tell you some of those things, but you're kind of sent to a chain of people. It's weird to me that you have to practitioner hop. Like, oh, now I got to go to a PT. Oh, then I have to contact a dietitian. Oh, then I have to go to an athletic trainer to build muscle. Like, why is it's so many different people to get what you need?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also a lot of things to learn as part of a specialty. So you're rarely going to find someone who is performing a checkup. Let's say he's a pediatrician, but then he also specializes in movement health, or is also a dietitian. So there's a lot of different specialties, but along with that, going to the doctor, at least in America, is an extremely anti-holistic experience. And what I mean by that is, you go to the doctor, and the doctor basically makes sure that you aren't sick. They're not trying to get generally healthy people better. Like they're not asking themselves, okay, what does this person need to better improve the quality of life? That they don't have diabetes, they don't have high cholesterol, they don't they're not they don't have any major metabolic issues, so they're good. You can leave now. When you go to the doctor, it seems like if you told someone on another planet, you go to you're going to a medical setting, you're going to a place where people are caring about your health, they would probably think that it was okay. You're going there to live a better life. You're going there to try to become more functional, or move better, or eat better, to take care of any diseases you have to like do that all in one. But today it's so anti-sick. It's not necessarily pro health and pro living. It's more just what can I do to not get you sick enough to the point where you can now leave the hospital or you don't have to come back. And there's so many different specialties. So that's all. It's hard to have one person, one place where all of that comes together, which is why a lot of my knowledge has come from independent creators in different fields, whether it's, someone talking about sports or maybe it's a doctor that has a YouTube channel or podcast, things like that, where I kind of just like I'll search what I want to know. And then I'll just hop to different people who look like they know what they're talking about.
Right. I get your sentiment, because there definitely are a good doctor will be there to hopefully help you improve your health, but there are ones as well that medicine's really good at fixing emergencies. Like you have a stroke, break your leg, get in an accident, or even like dad's doctor, like chronic things like diabetes or blood pressure. They're good at that as well. And they're good at a lot of other things too. But there are definitely, I would like to see some more holistic things incorporated. They do have Doctor of Osteopathy, which is actually a med school that's tries to be, I think, consider the whole body, what's going on with you, your mental health, your vitamins, what's your workout routine. But even then, I think there's so little, they don't have enough time to do a really big consultation with a patient to make sure they're leaving with the right things. They kind of, they might say, you got to go see this person, but I do get what you're saying. It would be nice to have a lot more preventative medicine going on. Like you're starting to gain weight, or your blood pressure's starting to rise. Let's fix that. Are you having a muffin every morning? Are you not getting outside at all to walk? Like, what's going on? That, like, small things like that can improve your whole life.
Yeah.
Just like by changing a few meals during the day, getting some sunlight, getting some exercise. It would be nice to just see a lot more of that. It probably is somewhere, but I do get it.
Yeah, it seems like there's almost a level missing from the healthcare system where it should be separated by disease and cancer, things that are immediate problems or long-term chronic illnesses. That should be one level of the healthcare system, and that should be covered where by medical insurance, where people who need the help can get it. But then there also should be a level where you're a generally healthy person, but then you just want to go somewhere to get advice, like general health advice to improve your quality of life. Because there are a lot of people that are interested in living better, living healthier, moving better, eating better. And I don't know, like, I don't think a lot of that's covered by insurance. So you have to pay. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but like if you want to go see a PT without an injury, or you want to go to a dietitian when you're already healthy, or you want to go get therapy. I know therapy is covered in some situations where you're relatively healthy, but for a lot of that, you need to be diagnosed with something and then go see a doctor or specialist. It seems like there's a level missing where you're like generally okay. You're not going to die. You don't have any diseases, or you don't have a disease that's impairing the quality of life, and you just want to go somewhere to get more knowledge. It seems like there's not one consolidated level of healthcare where you can walk in and kind of go through a resource center from specialist to specialist on your own time to get more information. It's really on you as an individual, but not a lot of people know where to look. Like, I consider myself lucky because I learned how to search for my own health related information early on through baseball. I was always looking for stuff through baseball for mobility and for eating and for becoming stronger. And so by proxy, I became just a generally healthy person for a lot of that. But I'm very surprised that some of my friends or even strangers that will reach out to me online through Instagram or through podcasting, where they just like they don't know how to make a workout program. Like they don't even know how to do a simple 5x5 workout program because no one has ever told them how to structure something simple like that. And so I feel like there needs to be an extra level where already healthy people are going to become better, the betterment of already healthy individuals.